Billy and Ken, the school's cross-country stars, were each running at cross-country practice. Billy was going to run 3/4 of the training course, and Ken was going to run 1/2 of the course. However, during practice it started raining, so they couldn't finish their runs. Billy had finished 1/3 of his run, while Ken had finished one half of his run. Draw a picture to determine which cross-country star ran the farthest. Okay, we have a lot of information in this problem, so let's be careful going back and reading it again. Now we know there's two people, Billy and Ken. They're calling it the cross-country stars, so they must be pretty good. So right now, information about Billy. So Billy was going to run 3/4 of the training course. And let's just talk about Billy first. And then I'm looking, however, there's the however. When it started raining, Billy had finished 1/3 of his run, of the one he planned. Okay, that's what it means. Now let's take a look at the other country star. Let's see. So what do we know about Ken? Ken was going to run 1/2 of the course, of the total course. However, he did 1/2 of his run. So they are suggesting to draw a picture. So we have to draw a picture for each of the people, the two of them, and then we're gonna determine, use it, which one ran the furthest. So they stopped because of the rain. I wouldn't have stopped, but I guess they want to be safe, right? So let's write down now what we have about information about Billy again in our notes. So Billy, he was supposed to run 3/4 of the actual course, so of the total. However, he only did, and then it said 1/3 of his is the 3/4, so of the 3/4. So they're using the word his, and then his run was the 3/4. That was planned. And then what about Ken? So Ken's information, let's pull it out. He was supposed to run 1/2. It says of the course, so that means of the total. So write the information about Ken similarly the way we did it for Billy on Yon. But then Ken finished only 1/2 of his. That means his planned. So let's draw Billy's diagram. Let's start with 3/4 of a whole. So I'm going to represent this horizontally first, the original plan. So 3/4, so I'm going to do, I only need 4. And then he did 3/4 of it. That's the plan, right? So I'm closing it so that I could see that's just 3/4. Let's shade it in. So he did 3 out of the 4 from the actual total. Now plans change, so now he did only 1/3 of what we see. So I have to now plan of, right now I have this information only, the red one. So I have 3 equal squares, and he did only 1/3 of them. So how do I represent 1/3? I need to only shade one of them. One of those 3 is 1/3. So how does that compare to the whole? So it looks like Billy only did, compared to the whole, it's 1 shaded out of 4. So that's Billy's diagram. Now if we did it with the numbers, he started with 3/4, so started, and then he only completed of the 3/4 1/3, so we have to rewrite it. So it's 1/3 of 3/4. I'm reversing the order. So would that give us 1/4 using, remember, off was the multiplication. So pause and check. Now we want to draw Ken's diagram as well, and then we're gonna compare. Remember, they said picture and the diagram is the same or similar of how we see it. So he started with only half, so I'm going to use the same picture of a whole so that I can compare them. He only did half, so there's the half, so let's shade it. Well, he was planning, sorry. his assignment was to do half of it. So initially he was assigned to do less than Billy. Billy had 3/4. Maybe Billy was in trouble or something, or Ken had to go somewhere. Okay, so originally Ken had less. Now when it started raining, let's see, he had finished a half of his run. So while Ken had finished 1/2 of his run, right? So that's where I went. So how much is half of half, basically? So now I'm looking at what the plan was, which was this part, and I have to do half of it. So half of it is divided in 2 pieces and shade one of them. So how much is that new piece compared to the whole? So if I'm looking at pieces, I have these. So there's 4 of them again as total, but there's only 1 that he did. So according to the diagram, and you can see the picture, who ran the furthest. So we can say, well, they both actually did the same amount. So go ahead and do your, like, the word off sentence for Ken on your own, and do your conclusion in a sentence.